When I first started making videos a couple of years ago, I was able to use Adobe products. So I used Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe. And I kind of wanted to list out the reasons as to why I stopped using Adobe after about a year and a half of making content on this website. I'm going to get into the main reason why I stopped using Adobe in general, the price. The price of Adobe products is crazy. You see, in order to get like the Creative Cloud, which is kind of like their whole bundle streaming service thing, it's $50 a month. $50 a month. Now, when I first started content creation, I was a student, so I got a big discount. However, when I left the department that I was in, I didn't have the discount anymore, or at least to the terms that I had. So I kind of lost the discount, and at that point, you know, I had the $50 thing, and I just did not want to shell out $50 a month, especially on a channel that is not making any money whatsoever. I found that to be completely, so that's probably the main reason why I left Adobe, is because of the absolutely crazy price for their products. Another reason, while it's not as important, is that I think the Creative Cloud in general is bloated. Now, I don't really need that much. I only need like 3 things, but Creative Cloud has a lot of bloat that I don't think really many people need. Like there's like Dreamweaver and a bunch of other stuff that didn't really interest me. There's a couple like Illustrator and Animator, but there's so much bloat in Creative Cloud that you'll never use that it's just a waste. So the question is, what do I use? Well, I think the obvious one is, because as a VTuber, it's obvious that I have to use a different kind of software. And the first one that I use is OBS Studio. As a VTuber, I can't just use a video editor and a microphone recorder. So I have to use OBS Studio, which I would actually recommend to everybody. I recommend OBS Studio to everybody because you can use it as a video recorder and an audio recorder. If you're not into video editing, or if you're not into audio editing or anything like that, OBS Studio can do everything. It's like the jack of all trades. It can do everything, and it's really good. So I just wanted to point OBS Studio out. Now, my second software of choice is a video editor. And the video editor that I prefer using is something called DaVinci Resolve. You might have heard of it. It's incredibly popular because it's an incredibly powerful video editor. It is a very powerful video editor that is on par with Premiere Pro. Now, finding a video editor on par with Premiere was very difficult. Video editors are really hard to find that are real. At first it was kind of hard because there was new shortcuts and a bunch of new things, but I've gotten quite used to it, and it's really powerful. It's got a bunch of features that I haven't even tried out yet, and there's a lot of tutorials and whatnot, so you can really switch over and feel comfortable knowing that this is a functional video editor that has a lot of things going for it, and you can do a lot of shit in it. So it's really good. DaVinci is the video editor I would recommend for anybody to pick up. If you need to record audio, like an audio recording software for like voiceovers and stuff, then I'd recommend Audacity. Again, you might have heard of this software because it's a very popular software, but it's very easy, it's very simple, it's got a nice interface, and all you have to do is like basically record, stop, and that's it. Export it in like wave format, and you're good to go. So Audacity, very good. If you don't want to use OBS, or if you don't want to use a VTuber avatar like I do, then Audacity is the way to go. Finally, a photo editing software for thumbnails. Now, there's a lot you can go with, but the one I go with is Gimp. Gimp has been around for a long time, and I think it's a very powerful software that you can basically do anything with. If you want whatever thumbnail you could possibly think of to make, you can do it in Gimp. It might look a little bit different, and some of the tools might have different names, and the shortcuts might be different from Photoshop, but there are plugins to change that, and there are things that you can do to make it more like Photoshop if you want that. But overall, it's very good, and you can get if anything that you want to do in Gimp to make a thumbnail look pretty cool, you can do. So Gimp is a good thing to go with. Adobe, they make a lot of good software, and they're the so-called industry standard, but with the price and with their high prices and their bloat, I don't think it's worth using their software if you're a content creator and you're not making money. If you're not doing any of those things, then there are alternatives that you can use to make content, and you don't have to pay a dime, or you don't have to have loaded software on your computer.